Okay. All right, so part 2 of the Goon TV. I'm Johnny Stevensley along with Matt Mayhem. All right, well, now we're going to get into the next part of it. Something that I guess is really close to your heart is Washington and Philadelphia. A 2-0 series already. So I got to get your thoughts on this one right there before I get mine.
First off, let's put all the past in the past. Everyone wants to bring up Washington's past. You know, let's look at it this way. It's a different team. They are a different team. They have more offense. You know, first let's start off by we fired GM McPhee. All right, we got McKellen.
This is going to get brutal, by the way.
Then we brought in Trotz. Trotz, who is an amazing head coach, who has done wonders for Nashville, who got them to where they're at, who got Shea Weber to where he's at. I mean, so you bring in that, you steal Pittsburgh's defense. And then we didn't make it to the Eastern Conference Finals last year, but we still accomplished something. We get into this year. One, you have Hope Beast, one who broke Brewer's record. All right, okay, didn't break it, tied it, but did it in less wins. Did it in '66. Brewer did in '78,
which is a hell of an accomplishment. Because Marty Brodeur was for the longest time, the most untouchable goalie when it comes to certain records.
I mean, there's a lot of records that goaltenders have not touched because of him. You know? So, you add all of that in the mix, you get not only the President's, trophy, #1 team in the NHL, you get a team ready for the playoffs, all right? Yes, we have a 2-0 lead. Everyone wants to say, well, it was Holtby. It was Holtby. Yeah, you damn right it was Holtby. But 4-1. I mean, we won the other night 4-1. 4-1.
Which I got mentally bashed from that.
Yes, one of those goals was kind of
that
BS.
That goal will be highlighted, and that's the sad part for a fan like me. Like I said, I'll have my other episodes where I'm wearing all my Montreal or my Philadelphia gear. That had to be the biggest insult for any kind of goalie because I've seen it before on highlights as well. But I mean, that was during the regular season when I saw I think it was a Los Angeles Kings that had that situation where it was just a fluke flip of the puck and then all of a sudden whoop, right between the legs. And Steve Mason was an embarrassment to Philadelphia that day. And I mean, honestly, they need to put their backup goalie in. In my personal opinion, their backup goalie needs to be put in because honestly, Steve Mason was an embarrassment for these 2 first games. And I think, honestly, they need to put in their backup goalie. Just, because honestly, like I said, I was talking to him before about this, on how the 2010 playoffs was, Boucher was golden. He was the man. And then he got hurt, and then they put in Leighton. And Leighton, they didn't think was going to do jack squat. And then they ended up taking out the Boston Bruins, then going over to Chicago, which, like I said, was a big-time thing in that. But, like I said, they need to put up their backup goalie because, honestly, Holtbeast, as this guy likes to call him, I guess that's the name he's got now. I honestly think that the Flyers can't get a goal past Holtby to save their life.
Then, the Flyer fans want to say, oh, well, we had so many shots. We got so many more shots on net than the Capitals. All right, you got shots. What about scoring chances? We had the scoring chances. And then let's look at the power play that Ovechkin scored. There was no one on him. Jeez, you're going in, against a power play. Yes, we might not be the top power play, but then you put Ovechkin, you have Ovechkin on the power play, you know where he's going to shoot from. He shoots from every single time the same exact spot. No one on him. I mean, you're giving him that goal.
I saw it. I mean, literally when I was watching it over at my buddy's house, we were watching it, and they were focusing on every other player, and over here is Ovechkin. And I kept thinking, where the hell is the rest of the players on Ovechkin? Everybody was doing this, swarming. They passed it, bam. Ovechkin had nobody on him.
No, I mean, he could have just tossed it in, and I mean, he didn't have to snipe it that bad, but I mean, he did, and there we go. All right, and then you take about the first game, we only won 2-0. Okay, still 2-0, and it was still a shutout. I mean, again, Hope Beast. Yes, if I think the Caps are going to take Flyers. I mean,
some people are actually saying that was the most boring game they've ever seen.
That was intense. I didn't even watch it. I listened to it. I just listened to it, and I almost had a heart attack.
There are some poor folk in the world. Some of us can't get the sports packages and the apps that you have to pay for at HLTV. But when I watched it, I mean, it literally was that situation of Philadelphia. They really don't have an answer for Washington. They really don't have an answer for Wilson. They don't have an answer for Holtby. They don't have an answer for Ovechkin. They don't have an answer for nobody.
No, and you say, oh, what about Ovechkin? All right, we got Kuznetsov, who's going to be, he can play first line, he can play second line center. You got Backstrom, who can pass the puck anywhere and get that goal. You got Carlson on defense, who now has had 2 goals.
Would you like to mention also your man crush for Jason Chimera?
I mean, he doesn't even have to look and he scores goals. I mean, Jason Chimera is the man. I mean, he deserves
autograph.
He deserves that cup. Okay. I do think Philly's going to win. I don't think this is going to be a sweep. I say Washington's going to take it in 5.
I mean, I've seen a lot of people, including celebrities, that are saying that Washington is going to go for it all. I mean, they're they make their brackets, and all you see is Washington Cup.
If we had any year to do it, this is the year to do it. I mean, we made the necessary trades. We brought in Oshie. We signed Williams, Mr. Game 7 himself. And then here's the thing. Not only do we have him, who's Mr. Game 7, we got Mike Richards, the Flyers' former captain. Okay, the Flyers' former captain, who also is 7-0 in Game 7s. So we have 2 people who is 7-0 in Game 7s.
It's so sad to see that Philadelphia, and I want to get your opinions on this, where Philadelphia has traded away a lot of their good players, like Sergei Bobrovsky. They traded him away, and then he ends up winning the Vezina Trophy in Columbus. Then you have, the trade up where they got rid of Mike Richards and Jeff Carter, and then they ended up winning the Stanley Cup. And, just other things. I mean, what do you think is the mindset of Philadelphia?
They're expecting the further prospects to pay off. I mean, one thing I say about the Flyers that I do like is Ghost Bear. I love Ghost Bear. I wish the Capitals had Ghost Bear. He's amazing. He is awesome. He reminds me of like a younger Mike Green. And better Mike Green. Much better Mike Green. I mean, I love Ghost Bear. But they're expecting these prospects.
But one player doesn't make it.
No, and he's defense. He's a defense man. He's an offensive defenseman.
As much as I don't like Alexander Ovechkin, I wouldn't call him Michael Jordan, but he's got people behind him that can make him look so damn good that it's ridiculous. I mean, you got a star net, you got some of the best defensemen. Like I said, Tom Wilson is one of the, like I said, and I'm trying to be non-biased about this. Tom Wilson's one of the best enforcers that I've ever seen in a very long time.
I was arguing with some Flyer fans saying, he was like, Tom Wilson's a first-round bust. Okay, yeah, he doesn't have goals, the goals that you would expect a first-round pick forward to have. But I mean, look what he does for the team. I mean, he brings that grit, that attitude, and I mean, he can draw penalties. I mean, look what he did in the first game to Simmons. Y'all needed y'all's top goal scorer out there. Simmons was y'all's season's top goal scorer, and Wilson he knew he was getting the one penalty. What did he do? He draws Simmons in. Was able to get Simmons out of the game.
They were mentioning the fact that Del Zotto being knocked out of the whole entire playoff run. Is really detrimental for
when you
Flyers.
don't have a healthy team, you can only go but so far, and you can only rely on so much. And you know what? Nothing to bash those goaltenders, but you don't have goaltending. That's the thing. The Flyers don't have goaltending. Then
Steve Mason just really isn't. No. He isn't that big a deal as much as we try to make him out to be. I thought that Sergei Bobrovsky trade was really
that hurts us. If y'all would have had Bobrovsky, I mean that he would have given y'all a chance. And then you got Neuver. All right, you guys want to say that the Caps are choke artists. Guess who was part of that team when they were choking?
Yeah, Neuver. Yeah.
Neuver. Yeah. All right, so don't even get me into that.
Okay. Well, we need to shave off this and talk about the last set of players, or last set of teams for the Eastern Conference Finals. We got Pittsburgh and New York, and we got 1-1 apiece.
And
your wife is a big Pittsburgh fan, so I mean, honestly, this must be a really half and half household.
Yeah, I think Pittsburgh's going to take it. I think Pittsburgh's going to take it. New York did silence them in the last game and was able to get that.
So what did you think about like I said, my buddy West was telling me about it, how the slash or the spear to Henry Lundqvist's eyes.
That was by his own player.
I know, right?
I mean, you want to cry about it. I mean, it was by your own player.
I mean, Steve Mason, missing that flop through goal, man. That that ain't compared to nothing about getting slashed by your own player.
Yeah,
And if you take out the Henry Lundqvist, honestly, he is the heart and soul of the New York Rangers.
He is, but he's not what he used to be.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have it anymore. He's the king. The king is about to get dethroned. I mean, he's not what he is. And Pittsburgh, I mean, they're just on a scoring rampage right now. Like I said, New York was able to silence him last game, but I don't think that's going to last for long. Pittsburgh is just on an offense scoring, just mass destruction right now.
I mean, it was actually good to see the 4-2 victory over Pittsburgh for New York. Because I was afraid that it was going to be a beating per se of the team. But like I said, they came back, they battled back, and they won. I mean, it wasn't a beating, but I could see this going to Game 7.
I can see it going to a Game 7.
It would be really interesting.